My name's Chase Armstrong, and today we're going to talk about vaccination in children. It is not uncommon in our society to hear people debate about whether or not to vaccinate their kids. Before you start having those debates, though, it's important to understand what exactly a vaccine is and what it does. What does it mean to vaccinate? Well, vaccinations are preventative medicine for children to keep from getting harmful diseases such as polio, measles, or anything of that sort. It's usually done in younger kids and can last for life, although there are sometimes boosters required to keep up the preventative medicine. In this speech, we will talk about three different aspects of vaccines and why it's important to vaccinate your kids. The first of which is herd immunity, followed by how diseases don't care about borders nor who you are, and lastly, about how a vaccine can be effective and how the pros outweigh the cons. One of the many reasons to get your children vaccinated is herd immunity. Herd immunity is the idea that if everyone in a community is vaccinated against a disease, then the chances of one single person getting the disease are far less likely. Just like water flows to the path of least resistance, a disease is likely to seek out the weakest individual. In an article written by Maheen Quadri Sharif done for the AAP News and Journal Gateway in 2012, she stated that they know when an individual is immunized that this act benefits the others in the community. That way there are no weak links. Also, in a 2016 article written by Gia Elise Barboza, written for the Preventive Medicine Journal, she stated that there are over 79 million people that do have the HPV virus. This is important to understand that not everyone is safe from these diseases. They affect everybody. And just because you don't see them in your everyday life and that they don't affect you or the people around you doesn't mean that they aren't always there. It's important to vaccinate your kids so that we can avoid things like this in the future and we can avoid these diseases that used to ravage our ancestors. Now that we've talked a little bit about herd immunity, let's move on to how diseases don't care about borders, nor do they care about who you are. One of the factors that can cause vaccination hesitancy is the fact that people don't think these diseases can reach them or affect them. However, that's not true. These diseases are omnipresent and they have no care for borders. In April of 2014, Gordon Giddings wrote an article for the Canadian Medical Association talking about how there was a measles outbreak in British Columbia. British Columbia is a part of Canada, and although they are a developed country, it shows that they can be affected in the same way we can be. Just like there was the measles outbreak in Disney World. It can happen anywhere, and diseases don't care about what class you are, who you are, or where you live. Now that we've talked about how these diseases spread and that they don't care about who you are, where you are, what you are, now let's move on to how effective the vaccines are. Vaccines are, in general, pretty effective, and they do good for society. In an article written by Jeff Garnett for the National Library of Medicine in March 2014, he addressed how the vaccine for HPV was over 90% effective. That's great considering that HPV can be a very harmful virus for those members of our society. Vaccines have been clinically proven to fight off some serious unwanted diseases in our society, such as polio or measles. Overall, vaccines are usually a good thing, and it is a good idea to get your kids vaccinated. In conclusion, vaccinations help out our whole population as people. Whether it be in America or another third world country, vaccines are vital to ensure the survival of the human population. The diseases they prevent don't care about borders, nor do they care about who you are, and the vaccines in general are effective and do prevent these life-altering diseases. Overall, people should look into getting their kids vaccinated and make sure you have a good, reliable source that you're going off of before you make that decision. However, in my personal opinion, it's a good idea to get your kids vaccinated to ensure they live the healthiest and longest life possible.